Welcome, welcome to MegoxCast. I am your host, John, joined by.
Rachel.
Yeah, for this episode. Today, we will talk about the female side of dating. Now, Rachel, talk a little bit about yourself.
I just graduated high school and I'm about to head off to college and I'm just gonna go the community route, but outside of that, I'm really into reading recently and music and occasional video games. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's jump right into it. Okay, the approaching or getting approached. Do you find yourself approaching someone you like, Rachel, or do you want to just be approached by somebody?
I definitely feel like I have a preference for being approached rather than having to approach someone. But I feel like there's definitely a certain way to go about it without coming off in a really creepy way, you know?
Mhm. No, I got you. Um, yeah, I feel like, it is traditional for like the guy, I'd say. I mean, I don't know if how you feel about it, but like, like the guy to, approach a girl he likes or something like that, not a lot of girls want to go up to a guy that they find maybe cute or attractive or something or cool, I guess. So they
Mhm,
would just want to talk to they just want to be talked to, you know. And then the guy just wants to go for what he wants.
mhm.
But yeah, I do you uh do you feel like there's a right way and a wrong way of getting approached or approaching someone?
I feel like definitely setting can play into it. If I'm in a certain setting where I'm around my family, that might not be the best time to approach me. Like if I was in a setting with like a group of friends, I feel like I would feel a lot more comfortable and open to have someone approach me, like in aspects of wanting to potentially pursue something rather than if I was with my family,
Mm,
you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like the people that are around you, kind of make the mood, you know, or at least you know, make you feel a certain way. You know,
Mhm,
there are some things I don't want to talk to with my parents, and there are some things I don't want to talk to with my siblings, but I want to talk to with my friends. So it's just different when it comes to family and friends. I'd say. Do you feel like you're comfortable if someone approaches you when you're like alone, or do you not feel as comfortable?
I feel like that also plays into, like, setting being important because if I'm, like, walking alone, like, on the street and someone tries approaching me, obviously, I'm gonna go into attack mode. I'm gonna feel like I'm threatened because this person could potentially be trying to cause harm upon me, rather than if it was, like, me alone at, like, a store or something, you know?
Yeah. Do you think you can mess them up?
I
You throw
don't
down?
know. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I
You
haven't
could.
I haven't
You could.
needed to attempt to do it yet, so
Yet. Well,
you never
watch
know.
out. Watch out, fellow viewers. All right.
It's
No, I mean, it's also well, imagine like just being at like I feel like you said like context or what you're doing at that time. Imagine you're like at a pool or something, you're obviously, just in a different zone, you don't want to be approached by someone unless because some people do, but some people don't.
mhm.
I feel like also if you're with other people as well, it makes it less awkward because you're all in that situation. But you know what I'm saying? Or
No, yeah,
He was more in a
100%.
vulnerable state.
100%.
Mhm.
I feel like that's definitely, like, a prime example because obviously, like, when summertime rolls around, like, everyone's going to the pool, they're going to the beach, they're going to the lake, and, like, the pool or the beach, I feel like is a completely different. I mean, the beach or the lake is a completely different setting the pool, because the pool is more of, like, an intimate zone, so I feel like it's for me, at least, I feel like I would be more intimidated having someone approach me there rather than having approach me at, like, the beach or at the, lake. But then again, also, I feel like that also could play into, like, age group, in a weird way. Like, I feel like if someone who's, like, significantly older than me tries approaching me, or even not significantly older than me, but they look quite a bit older than me, I'm gonna feel more intimidated versus someone who's more around my age.
Yeah, that's actually, like, a good segue into the next topic, unless you had more stuff about saying about what you wanted to talk about with this one.
No, I think I covered everything,
Alright,
but
awesome. So, personality and looks. Now, it seems like, Rachel, you're so, ageist, you just don't want these 65-year-old men just walking up to you.
it's not that. Well, actually, yeah, I don't
It's
really
not
want a
that. So
sixty-five-year-old man
you
approaching
wanna
me.
date some 65-year-olds? I can't judge, some of them 65-year-old women, they're still, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like I definitely do go for an older guy, like a more matured guy within relationships.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's like it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I feel like sometimes the age doesn't really play as big of a role as like
It does legally,
the way
Rachel.
that they act. No, obviously it
I
plays a role, but I feel like it's not as much of like a crucial role, obviously, unless it was an illegal type relationship. But if it's within your age range, like I feel like it's still like age at the end of the day doesn't truly matter. It's how they treat you, you know?
yeah.
Like I would rather be with this older guy who's super sweet and treats me right rather than be with this guy who's closer to my age, but he treats me really, really crappy, you know?
Mhm. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like, with age, did you want, does this, have, would you say that, personality also has something to do with it, though? Because you were saying, like, how they treat you, but, like, you know,
Yeah,
personality can also.
personality definitely plays a role in it. I feel like humor is a really huge thing, at least for me and a lot of people that I know, is like if their humor lines up or if they can understand and be respectful of each other's humor and stuff, like
Mhm.
that definitely I feel like has benefited relationships of even mine in the past. And I feel like just morals, like the way that they do certain things. Like, I don't feel like I'm not a super athletic person, so I don't feel like I could ever properly be in a relationship with someone who's like this, like crazy athlete, you know?
Okay,
But
but
that's
look,
just
if
because
Arnold
from
Schwarzenegger walks in, you can't say no. Okay, actually, you can say no. Rachel, you can say no. Alright?
yeah,
Don't
consent
make
is
him
key.
think you can't say no. What's up?
Yeah, so consent is key,
Of course.
of course.
Um, well, I mean, he is also, like, kinda old, so I guess that is a part to it. Um, so you're saying you want someone that's, like, easygoing, you'd say?
Yeah, I would definitely say someone more easygoing lines up with me because I feel like I've always been a more easygoing person, and I feel like that's definitely more true for people, like, people who work in settings where they have to be more strict about their stuff. If they stay consistent with that, they're likely with someone like that. They're not gonna be with someone who's just go with the flow and crazy disorganized, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I feel like when it comes to, uh, the personality thing, I do want someone that's, funny and not really serious. Because sometimes the serious ones, they make it a little stressful, or at least, maybe not stressful. They just take things too seriously. They're
Yeah.
not fun, easygoing, you know? So, it's always good to have humor, and because the thing is, it's not really about being silly or whatever too. Because like, I feel like humor says a lot about somebody too. Makes them like, a lot of people that are humorous or whatever in that way, they're more accepting of people, or,
Yeah,
more
that I
tolerant.
don't realize.
Yeah, because someone that's serious, they're uptight, they're just not, for it, you know?
Mhm.
They're not for you being a certain way. They want you to be this exact way, I'd say. Not all of them. Just, I just get that vibe,
Yeah.
and that's a good sign, that someone's the one. Now let's be a little bit, superficial here, Rachel. What about them
Okay.
looks?
Um, for me
Is it
personally, I feel like I definitely go for someone who's taller, but, like, beyond being taller, I don't think there's a lot of, like, criteria that I'd necessarily go for when it comes to getting with someone.
so Jack Skellington? Okay.
Oh my
Hmm.
goodness.
What? Okay, well, technically, oh, Rachel, you are right. In real life, he is like a 6-inch, you know, like figurine, but at the same time, in the
In the
movie,
film.
I think it implies that he's a little tall. What's up?
Yeah. I said in the film.
Oh yeah, I definitely look a little bit like him in real life. I gotta admit, so
Oh,
muscular.
definitely.
You making fun of me? Right now? Jeez,
No, I would never.
you wouldn't. Okay. Um, no, but there's not a lot of criteria besides being tall. You said something about like, if they're really, fit and muscular, you may not be into that because it's like, it's more of a lifestyle thing. But do you want them to be a little bit, like thin or muscular or anything like that? I mean,
Um,
if you like them, size up. No, we're not judging here.
no, it's not that. Yeah, I feel like I don't
More of them to love.
necessarily go for a certain body type. I'm not necessarily completely closed off to a certain body type, like the athletic guys. It's just I feel like it would be two different realms, and that's where uh, for example, like communicating would be really like big.
Yeah.
Being able to understand each other on a deeper level rather than just, oh, he likes to work out. I don't,
Hmm.
you know?
No, I get it. No, yeah, it's good though, because some people are just all about looks, and then they get to that personality, and then they're like, "What?" So, it's good that you're not too about it, since this is the female side of dating, do you feel like, you know, other girls are into the looks thing over the personality thing, or you think it is more? Because I
I
don't know,
think
I've
it's
heard that. Oh, yeah?
definitely a person to person thing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of girls that I personally interact with, they typically go more for personality rather than looks. But at the
Yeah,
end of
well,
the day, obviously looks do play a little bit of a role into it, you know?
mhm, yeah, like attracts like, so that's probably
Mhm.
why. a lot of people like that. Uh, yeah, I feel like it does say a lot about someone that does want looks over personality, like, it is kind of not the best thing, but at the same time, if they're okay with the person, they're okay with the person, but if they're I don't know, it's just, kind of a loaded thing, and then, I don't know, I feel like looks to some way is, important to me, but I try not to be, like, too about it, I do feel like, if I like someone, you know, it is more about them as a person or the vibe and tone I get from them, but there are some times where I have, like, crushes on someone and I don't know them too well, and I have to, realize that. Sometimes I don't or it's hard for me to, but, I do find that, I do get more nowadays, more for somebody that I know more, and I get a better vibe of them in person, and I wasn't just attracted to them just based on looks alone,
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything looks-wise that you specifically go for?
Yeah, well, I noticed, because when I was younger, I used to go for blondes. I don't know why. Like, when I was, like, in elementary school, I don't know. Or I liked that, but then I don't know why, but, I've noticed I've gone for more darker, features, I guess, like, not really, skin, but, that's fine. If, like, there may be, like, some Asians are darker skin or some obviously,
Mhm.
Latinos or Mexicans are darker, like, just a tan, but I just noticed that, I like darker eyes and darker hair. Mainly, it's the darker hair thing. Um,
Mhm.
like, blue eyes are fine, but green eyes and brown eyes are I try to go for more, I guess. I don't know. I don't think about it too much. I don't like them very, skinny, I guess. Like, just because I guess I am, so I guess it just makes me think of me or something, I don't know. But I also
Mhm.
just think that they're I don't know why, I don't wanna say it, but it's just, like, fragile, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, I guess. I just don't wanna be in a situation where I hurt them or something. Dang, that sounds so deep. Oh, no. No therapy for me. I don't know what that's all about, actually. Oh, no.
Oh
But,
my god.
oh, Rachel, why did you pick this topic? No. No, I'm kidding. But, no, this is a good topic, I like it. But, no, I just, I feel like when it comes to looks, I try not to be too harsh on it, but at the same time, it is still important to me. I feel like, yeah, attraction's not a choice, would you say?
Oh, no, I don't think it's a choice. You
Exactly, it's
earlier
not.
had asked um, if I feel like most females go for physical or, like, personality. What do you think for flip side? What do you think men mainly go for?
I feel like, I've heard that they are, visual creatures. I don't know how true that is, but at the same time, I do feel like they don't wanna be with someone that's, nothing like them, maybe shallow, maybe whatever, but, girls also don't wanna be like that with someone like that, Maybe that's why they also don't wanna go for somebody that, you know, looks is important to them or something like that, So,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, I understand
yeah,
that.
but, yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one because it's more of a, like because I feel like at the end of the day with this one, it does depend on the person, I
Mhm.
mean, these criterias, can change from person to person, like, not from person to person. I mean, I guess from person to person in their preferences, but at the same time, our preferences when it comes to other people, like, there could be outliers, I guess. Like, you could date, Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, that kinda thing.
What is up
Old
with you and Arnold Schwarzenegger tonight?
um, um, uh, nothing, Rachel. What are you thinking, huh? Uh,
I don't know.
okay, then, like, June just ended, okay? Calm down.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't know. I I just thought it was a good example. But, yeah, we do you wanna go to the next topic?
Sure.
Alright, flirting. So, Rachel, do you, what's your thoughts on flirting? Are you the one that flirts, or is it the other person that's supposed to do it? You'd
Um,
say. You want a little bit of both.
I feel like flirting is obviously a two-way street, you know? Like,
Yeah, imagine flirting to a wall, like, you can only
yeah,
go so far.
you obviously want the flirting to be reciprocated, but I definitely feel like if that's truly what you desire, there's a way to go about it, you know? Like, I feel
Mhm.
like guys nowadays will automatically go straight for, like, more intimate comments and more intimate flirting type topics
Why do you
rather
think
than,
that is?
hookup culture.
Hookup culture? You wanna go a little bit into that?
Um, sure. I mean, like, honestly, obviously, hookup culture is something that's a pretty prominent thing in today's society. But if if that's what you're desiring, I feel like going that route of doing the more intimate flirting is definitely what you would do. But if it's like a relationship, I feel like you definitely have to go more the like sweet romantic route, you know?
Mhm. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweet romantic route? No, I totally understand. So what you're saying is you don't like the James Bond, um, Riz? I don't know why I just
Um, I don't know. I feel
oh,
like there's just certain ways that you can build even within the sweet romantic way, there's certain ways you can do it. You can do a more deeper romantic thing where it's more of like a especially for like a male-female relationship. Obviously the male typically takes on a more like dominant role.
mhm.
So like having a more dominant outlook on the way that you're flirting or, I feel like that plays a role into it too, and, like, properly flirting, and then obviously, when it's your first time flirting with a person, you're not
You're
gonna
not,
ch
mhm.
you're obviously gonna, um sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, it's all good.
Um, oh my goodness, I completely forgot what I was saying.
Oh, no, it's fine. I guess I could just say my thing on flirting just quickly, and then you
Mhm.
can maybe remember. So I was just gonna say, when it comes to, when I try to when I try to oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. Okay, but, okay, I'll stop. But, when it comes to, flirting, I'd say that I just try to obviously have fun, with it, and,
Mhm.
obviously just see what the girl is like, I feel like that's another thing too. If, I don't even know how serious people do it, you know? How do serious people get it if, like, they don't flirt and they're not a little silly and, fun, you know? It's like, that's what, love is. It's playful and fun, and, that's one aspect of, that, flirting. I feel like, it's very important to just, get to know that other person. Now that's one way to do it, or you get to know how they interact with what you say, and then sometimes you're not gonna like how they react, so you're gonna be like, "All right, see ya," Like, maybe they don't take what you say, like, I mean, I guess, obviously, if you just met someone, in some ways, you can't just go out there and just make the most craziest, you know, moves or jokes, but at the same time, like, if you make, like, a joke or something, and then they're just kind of thrown off or whatever. I'd say sometimes it's just them, like you're chilling, it's just not the right one, you
Mhm.
know. Sometimes maybe they're too timid for you, too shy. Because I feel like, there is that thing where usually in a relationship, I'd say there's probably one person that's more extroverted and one person that's more introverted. But I feel
Mhm.
like someone can't just be very extroverted and then one person be very introverted sometimes. I mean, sometimes it works, but I feel like the person that's very introverted has to be kind of extroverted or else it's just really not the most fun, I'd say, when it comes to all that. Uh,
Yeah, I feel like
Motivation.
that helps find, like, a healthy balance between the 2, and it helps
Yeah.
in, like, outside social situations where it's more of a group setting rather than just being completely alone in the setting. Obviously, you will have your partner of whatever kind that helps you through that, you know?
Yeah, you're saying how guys take more of the dominant role. I was gonna say, do you feel like when it comes to these situations, do you feel like guys are more introverted, extroverted when it comes to flirting, or you think it's the girls, or what do you think?
I feel like that's definitely very person to person. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, some people feel more comfortable within flirting rather than others, and I think that's has everything to do with where they are at in their journey throughout their life, rather than just it being completely, "Oh, it's this this is what happened, and that's why it's this way," you know?
Yeah,
I feel like it's definitely very, like, person to person, but I feel like generically, um, the guys tend to be more introverted, honestly.
yeah, I was actually gonna say that too. I feel like it is good to have these people, say to be more extroverted with guys. Because to be honest, I do notice that as well. Like, they're just more held back or something like that. Some girls just see it as stoic or, you know, something like that, but or aloof, but sometimes it's just shyness.
Yeah, and
I'd
I think
say.
partially that does have to do with just, like, where we're at in society today. Obviously, there's not great people who will go and jump at the opportunity to pull the whole, like, "Oh, he sexually assaulted me"
Mhm.
type number, which obviously several cases it's very, very true, but there's certain people who sometimes will just say things like that solely to get someone in trouble, you
Yeah,
know? So I feel like that's why guys nowadays are more held back because, like, if you think back in the day, obviously, like, even in, like, reality TV shows or movies or whatever, like, people were more like, not encouraged, but they felt more comfortable going to try and approach someone to make a move rather than they do nowadays, you know?
yeah, exactly. I do feel like, sometimes, yeah, another thing too, it's like, they could have also just been raised that way, like the mom or something may feel
Mhm.
a certain way about, you know, how society is dealing with it, and they're like, "I gotta make sure that my son is not that Casanova type," I guess, you know?
Mhm.
Maybe they even do. I mean, this isn't every case, obviously, you have to kinda pick a middle road with all these things, but, you know, uh, there's some, moms that probably, treat their child in such a way that they feel like they can't, you know, be that way, Maybe they don't feel confident about themselves, or maybe they just don't have a big presence because of how they were brought up,
Yeah, I
And,
definitely feel like that can play a role, like, me personally, I feel like the having obviously kids with divorced parents, especially, like, me being one of them, like, I feel like my image of just love and intimacy has been completely altered from seeing the way that my parents were versus, like, being able to see how my grandparents were, because my grandparents were always very loving. My parents, not as much, not as touchy and loving. Like, yes, they were, but like at the same time, I didn't fully get that image because of the divorce, you know? And I feel like a lot of divorce kids face the same exact thing,
No.
you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't know too much about the experience, but I can't imagine that and, try to understand that point of view. I'd say you know, it's it's just all about, just I mean, it's not just all about the upbringing, but it is a good amount. It's also just how the person is, There are some people that are going to be shy and they're the best parents or something like that. There are some people that could just be whatever. At the end of the day, it's just treating people the way they should be treated and hopefully I mean, and just being loved, I guess,
Mhm.
for being who you are. So, yeah. You want to go on to because after flirting, there's that first date. You want to go on to that topic?
Sure.
All right, first date. The candlelit dinner. No, no. First date. Come on, you're really gonna have a candlelit dinner? Come on. What do you think, Rachel? You come on. Nah.
Um,
What do you think is the prime first date?
I
Do you feel like that guy should go out? I mean, that's another thing too. Do you think a girl should kind of initiate it, or you think it is usually the guys, or it should be the guy's responsibility?
I feel like for initiating it, it should be either way. It should be whoever feels most confident enough to make that next move rather than like, oh, it should be the guy who does it or oh, it should be the girl who does it. I think it should just
Yeah.
be whoever feels most comfortable and ready enough, you
Yeah.
know?
What about for you though? Like,
For me, I
yeah.
feel like I tend to have a preference with the guy making the first move just because like
I mean, yeah, that's what you
obviously
did say with the approaching, so I'd assume it has something to do with the date thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. What would you say is your like ideal though? Like first date?
Um, I feel like for me personally that it depends on how well I know the person. Like I feel like if I already have an established friendship or relationship with the person in general, that like I would be okay with doing like a movie for the first date. But I don't think that the movie idea for first date is always the best idea.
Yeah, yeah, would you say that, it may have to do with, like, you're just watching a screen for, like, 1.5 to 2 hours, you're not, like, communicating, you're not interacting, physically or even, like, just in the physical space, you're just sitting next to each other, that's it. There's always that's one thing I noticed, I don't know if you think it has any effect, Rachel, but, there's some times when, in a film or a TV show, they always have the guy take her to the movies, and then he's like he does the yawn, and he tries to,
Put
you
his
know
arm around
yeah,
her.
yeah, exactly, or they do some naughty stuff in the, movie theater. You shouldn't do that, by the way. We'll find you. Um, yeah, I don't wanna be seeing that when I'm walking in there and just making sure that the screen's still playing, making sure the, emergency, door is, still there. I don't know. I don't know why we check that. But
Um,
I'm just saying, like, do you think that has something to do with, like, this culture of taking her to the movies?
I feel like that's definitely played a role in expectations that people have gained from what they think they're gonna get when they go to the movies. The whole, like, sexualizing it in a way, you know?
Exactly. Mhm.
But I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
mhm.
outside of that, like, it doesn't present a lot of room for communicating, which is obviously something that you're gonna wanna do, especially if this is, like, a blind date or, like, the first date, you know?
No, I agree. It's very important to
Mhm.
have that in the first date. I'd say I mean, I'd love you to go to the theaters anytime and you know why, but at the same time, it's not it's definitely not the time and the place, you'd go with the homies, Oppenheimer and Barbie. I'm just saying, July 20
Mhm.
first, but at the same time, it's just not the best place I'd say for a date. I'd say maybe somewhere that's you can interact and do stuff, mini golf and stuff like that, or the mall maybe. I mean, the mall. I feel like the mall is just like everyone goes there, so that's why it's kind of like, why would you even go there? But it's kind of like a good place to do. I'd say though for a first date, I was thinking about this recently. I feel like something like a mini golf or something you kind of have to like pay for. It's like an event. It feels like something kind of like a high time investment. I don't know if you agree, but I feel
Mhm.
like if you go somewhere that's like an open source area or something that's like chill, you get to leave whenever. Like I get,
Mhm.
the mall is a good place in that sense, but at the same time, it's just it's such far away from everything, and I feel like one cool thing about dates is I think you should go from like one place to another. It kind of creates this whatever. I don't know if you agree, Rachel, but I feel like that would you know, just create a certain mood vibe. I don't know how you feel
I
about that.
I feel like definitely like places that like amusement park type things or like smaller than amusement park type things. Like I don't know exactly what they're called, but like where they have like the mini golf and the arcade and
Yeah.
other potential little rides. I feel like that's a great first date just because like you said, there is such a variety. There's so many different options on what you can do. And I feel like that sets you up in a really good way of being able to be like, hey, like, I want to be able to do this with this person and actually being able to do it and do multiple activities rather than putting a larger amount of money into just one thing, you know?
Mhm. No,
Like
I agree.
something that's obviously, like you said, more of an investment, something that's you can get your use out of. I feel like those are really great first dates. And then like obviously you're gonna get to see this competitive, playful side of the person that you're on the date with, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're obviously gonna, you know, show who they are, you get to be in the I don't know why I keep saying that, in the physical space with them. But I just feel
Mhm.
like that's also important, just being there in that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel to me though, with like mini golf and all that stuff, I actually do think it's a good first date, but recently I've been thinking like more casual, whatever, could be a better first date just because of like you can leave at any time. It's also safe for you, Like I feel like one cool way to start it is to go somewhere and then get drinks or something. Not maybe not alcohol. All right, Rachel, you're
Mm.
not 21. I'm not 21. I'm just saying like just I don't know, just drinks, maybe even appetizers, like don't go crazy. And it's just like, that's just small stuff, you're just chilling, right? But then if you want to,
Mhm.
stay a little longer, then do that. And then I don't know, I feel like maybe eating might be the best thing to start with, but maybe something fun could also be good to start with. I don't know if it really matters how you start it, but I do think it matters what you do and just how you do it. And maybe not even how you do it, just the experience, You could,
Yeah,
go to the best place in the world and you don't have a good experience at all. But then these people that just go to the park, a boat place, maybe a thrift store, they have the best time of their life.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I don't know. It just all depends on like you and the other person, I'd say. But at the same time, I do feel like the place makes the date. You know? Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna say one more thing before we go to the next topic, or if you wanted to say anything else about this one. I was gonna say, do you feel like the guy, like if they feel the time is right, like they feel the girl wants to, do you feel like it's good for him to just around the first date, or you feel like he should wait?
Um, I that's another very person to person type thing.
Yeah,
I feel like me personally, I don't necessarily have a problem with kissing on the first date, but I feel like there's a certain way to do it,
yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
And like I feel like I keep saying that. But
No,
I
it's fine.
feel like it's definitely like very person to person, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you should ask. Um,
I feel like it's
but
definitely a conversation that should be had before you even think about trying.
yeah.
Uh,
One thing, I feel like it may sound a little dumb, or maybe not like it might seem unrealistic, but I feel like one thing that guys or even girls could try to do, like on a date, is just try to be there, like body. I mean, obviously, you gotta look out for that body language, and this is part of it. Like be there. What I meant by physical space, I just meant like just by your bodies alone, just by your whatever alone, just whatever, like not your you feel like your mind and soul may be connected in some sense,
mhm.
like feel like when to do something, how the other person feels without saying it. If you feel like you can do that even on the first date, that's a good sign, I'd say. I feel like if
Yeah.
it's kind of awkward, like on that date, in the sense that you feel like you do have to ask, you don't understand, you can't read them, you don't feel that way. Cause I feel like if someone's like held up or whatever on the first date or something, like, I guess it is fine some circumstances, but I feel like sometimes and a good amount of times it's not, like in the sense that it's like if you're, you know, just holding back like I guess just how you feel or something like that and being like a slate that no one can read.
Mhm.
It's like it just doesn't feel, too it just doesn't feel the best. So I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know, I do feel like there's some, like, thing you can do, obviously, to tell if, both of you can kiss or whatever, but I feel like sometimes, there's no problem in asking. It may if you ask in the wrong way, it may be a little weird, so you gotta make it, you know,
Yeah.
cute or something, but at the same time, I feel like you can read body language or whatever, because it's like, before you kiss, it's not like you're just, like, you know you're 3 feet away or something, then you go up to her, you know?
Mm,
You're right up, you know? I feel like if you're right up to her, at that point, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just I mean, it varies like you said how it varies from person to person, also varies from situation to situation. But I feel
absolutely.
like you know, knowing certain things or even the basics, will help you a long way in just, figuring out what to do, you know? Feel like it's
Yeah.
always have to be up to you, it can't be up to somebody else's, experiences or anything like that. But,
Yeah, and another thing with that is, like, real quick before we move on, is, like, on the first date, like, making sure that you're not on your phone a ton, because
oh,
obviously
yeah, that's
everyone
a good
has phones nowadays.
that's another thing too. Yeah, I I'm so happy you brought that up because I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that is annoying because it's like, put your phone away, you know? Unless they're adding you on, Snapchat or Instagram, like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like obviously there's certain situations that there's difference and it's like, "Oh, no, this is an okay situation for you to be on your phone." But overall, I feel like it's just gonna build up a wall and it's gonna close off potential situations that you can have with this person.
Yeah,
And that's just honestly, that's not even just first date. That's just dates in general. Like being careful about how much you're on your phone is like so crucial.
exactly, like, just be with the other person, maybe put it down to show that you respect them and their time, you know? I feel like, that's one thing that's a turnoff. We can go into that
Mhm.
because the next topic is, red actually, you know what the next topic is, and I'm saying, like, just before we get into that, I feel like one thing is, like, if the person is on their phone during the date, at all or whatever, you know, they're not
Mhm.
paying attention to you, you're not there everything during that time, that's gonna be a turnoff. And, that is a good segue into the next topic. Do you have anything else to say about the first day, or wanna go to the next topic?
I'm ready for the next topic.
Right. Awesome. Red flags or toxic traits. I mean, the phone thing's pretty big, but do you have any big ones, Rachel?
Red flags or toxic traits. I feel like
Yeah.
one thing that's huge for me in relationships is very much like how they are with their family.
Mhm.
Because obviously I grew up very family oriented, like we're constantly going over to see my uncle and my cousins, and like it was always very, very intimate. That's just the
Just the way it is, right?
way. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but just like for me, like I definitely feel like I go for someone who's more family oriented, but like not too family oriented. I think that's exactly where I was trying to get is like, especially with guys, like there's the mama's boys,
Hey,
and like
don't be
no, no,
trashing on
no,
the
because
mama's
listen,
boys.
listen, listen. There's a difference between having a good, strong relationship with your mom and being a hardcore mama's boy and just absolutely listening to everything she says because
Are
that's
you saying that
something.
Norman Bates is an 11 out of 10? I'm just saying.
No, but like that's something that's like affected relationships of mine in the past is like definitely like the moms or letting family in general intrude. Like I've had relationships literally end because of a family member saying like, "Oh, they don't see us working out or they don't think that me and this person would be able to be good together." So like I feel like a red flag could definitely be like A, how they treat their family, but B, how their family is in general. Um, I feel like another red flag is like just over being overprotective in a way of themselves, like in an overly defensive manner. I feel like people like that tend to just generically lie a lot more often. And I feel like that definitely like makes me feel more closed off in a relationship because of like I don't wanna feel like I can't trust my partner in whatever it is that we are discussing or whatever it is that is going on in our relationship, you know?
Mhm. No, I get that. I, definitely would say that, when it comes to that kinda stuff, I feel like, I'd say there are some traits that are, some a little bit of a red flag. Uh, I have a lot of problems too much with girls doing whatever they want when it comes to, like, guess, how they present themselves online, but I do feel like if they do present themselves, online a certain way, sometimes it's a little bit of a red flag. I don't I don't find it all the time like a red flag, but sometimes I do, and it's if their personality is a certain way. Because sometimes when they do that, they are very, not, maybe not desperate, but they're definitely in a sense insecure, and that's why they may be doing that online, you know? So they wanna
Yeah.
get that attention, and I feel like, sometimes, it's not they're not they don't believe that they don't love themselves too much, and they just do all these things, kind of, and some of them don't have a there was a person I met, that was kinda like this, and I felt when I talked to her, uh, I didn't feel like, and I talked a little bit about this in episode 18, I didn't feel hurt, I guess, when I was talking to her, you know? I felt like a disconnect, I guess. Felt like I was
Mhm.
talking to an AI or a, T-180 from Terminator or something like that. I don't know what it was. I can't describe it. It was just, I didn't feel, a warmth, I didn't feel, like a thing, you know?
Mhm.
I just felt it felt like I was talking to an operator. I don't know what it was. It was just, something about it. Even if she was seemed so interested in me, it just felt so weird, you know?
Hmm.
So that's
Well,
why it's, you know, that's becoming like a thing where I'm like, "Oh, okay, I gotta watch out for that," you know? 'Cause obviously I don't wanna get hurt, but at the same time, I also wanna not date the wrong people, you know? Even if I do like them, physically, you know? I
of
obviously
course.
have to keep in mind their personality. And, that's I feel like a lotta guys do that where they wanna go for this person, but then they find out these things, and then they don't, care about that, and then they get themselves hurt or maybe, they're just in a bad situation,
Yeah.
you know? I feel like that's why it takes girls would you say it takes girls to fall in love slower, when it comes to these things? Because the red flags and also the personality thing, and why maybe they're not so into looks from the beginning?
I feel like definitely nowadays, I feel like guys are the ones who initially end up developing feelings fast, but I feel like also girls do the same thing though, like very behind the scenes about it though.
Mm,
Guys tend to be more upfront when they're starting to develop feelings, like most guys at least. But like with girls, it's always very behind the scenes. Like that's why like the basic thing of like the oh girls talking to her friend like about her crush, like oh girls just always are talking about their crushes, like the reason why that's been said so much is because that's what we do, like everything, all the developing of the feelings tends to be more behind the scenes unless it's a talking situation where it's like you guys are both open with each other and like, "Hey, like I kind of like you. Like I want to pursue something with you."
yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
But otherwise I feel like guys definitely more generically do that.
No, I was just saying, because you said, they develop feelings fast. I was just wondering, you feel like girls sometimes, they slowly start liking the guy more and more to, until they're just dating them. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely feel like that's more person to person,
Yeah.
but um like I said, I feel like a lot of feelings are developed behind the scene. Unless it's, like, just, like, randomly, like, "Hey, like, I like you," and it's just kind of
Yeah, I
randomly
mean,
sprung out of the
that's
blue.
actually
Then it's definitely more of, like, a developing thing.
no, that's a good point though, Rachel, the behind the scenes thing I just realized. Because I feel like a lot of, like, like the like, they gotta think about you, I guess, you know?
Mhm.
I feel like, a lot of the girls, when they're around them, they don't know, but then when they're away from them and they're by themselves, they're like, "Oh, I really like this guy," that
Yeah.
kinda thing. Because once they're smothered with them, they're gonna be annoyed, they're gonna be, "Oh my gosh, I can get enough of this guy. I can. I gotta head out."
Yes.
That kinda thing. So, the distance makes the heart grow fonder kinda thing.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a good point, the behind the scenes thing. I was gonna say any other red flags you'd say?
I feel like my only red flag that I have left kind of segues into the next topic,
Oh, okay.
and that's literally just, like, not communicating.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, thankfully, I don't have too many. uh, red flags that I have. I guess one I do have to mention. I'm not gonna say that everyone that has this is an issue because I don't think it is, but I have noticed women that do have a. And Rachel, you can beat me with the stick as much as you can, as much as you want with this one. Daddy issues.
Dragons.
I think,
Uh,
I don't
w
know.
it's
Sometimes
same
it
thing
just,
with, like,
I mean,
mommy issues. That's why,
oh yeah,
like, earlier I'd mentioned, like, family being a
mhm,
huge thing. It's, like, getting to know the family, getting to know understand the dynamic, like, it can show you exactly how that person's gonna treat you in a relationship or exactly how they may react to certain situations that you're obviously inevitably gonna end up in, you know?
yeah. Wow. I mean, you're playing you're playing chess while I was playing checkers, Rachel. Jeez. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, okay, all right. The Google factor over here, but all right. All right. Let's go to the next topic then. Communication. I feel like obviously it's important, we're communicating right now. Obviously it'll be a little
Mhm.
different with someone that's dating. And
Yeah.
but you feel like this is the most important thing for a relationship?
Oh, yeah, I feel like communication is the absolutely, like, most important component in a relationship. Like, obviously, relationships would be nothing without communication. Like, if you don't feel like you can properly communicate and that you already have, like, a strong enough basis and foundation to be able to have those hard conversations with the person, then your relationship will never go anywhere,
Yeah.
you know? And, like, I
No.
feel like that's
Yeah.
one of the hardest lessons that people inevitably have to learn, but, like, it is the most important when it comes to wanting and working towards a healthy relationship.
Yeah, definitely. Feel like obviously, you communicated so far to get there, so why not, you know, use that in order to, fix things or whatever. I feel like, you shouldn't let things be not dealt or talked about, you know? I feel like it is more important once you start getting into the dating stage and the exclusive stage, but I feel like it is kind of important in the beginning. The main reason I don't think it's too important in the beginning is like I do feel like it's not I really don't think you need to take it seriously in the beginning in the sense that it's like if they're not talking to you, they just don't like you. But if they've been going on dates with you and all that stuff and they like you, you gotta, fix things. But at the same time, do you agree with me or do you feel like communication in some ways in the beginning may be important? Because I feel like if it's, you don't even know if they like you that much, like it's
I
kind
mean,
of weird,
I feel like in the beginning, like, the communication's gonna be different through all stages of
Yeah.
the relationship, but, like, in the beginning, like, getting to know the person, that's communicating. That's getting to understand the person on a different level than you already know them or that you are learning to know them on, you know? Like, that's the form of communication that you have in the beginning. And obviously, as the relationship progresses, it's going to evolve and you're going to have to start talking about tougher and tougher topics. That's like why, like, for me personally, and all of my relationships, I always try to make sure that, like, me and my partner are communicating about smaller things. So then when it comes time to have one of those big, hard conversations, it's easier to accomplish. And I feel more confident being able to be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or I really have a problem with this. And when I'm talking about little things that upset me, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's actually really a smart idea, to deal with the smaller things so then you can work up and, get to, be better at doing the harder conversations. I'd say
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say when it comes to communication, never had to deal with that really, but, I'd say that, in the beginning, it does get a little stressful, because it's kinda like where I feel like I feel like in the beginning before you're doing the before you, your first date, it's kinda like pong. It's kinda
Mhm.
like, how do we, you know, like, once that ball like, once this girl or you I guess, in this situation for me, it'd just be like the girls just hit you up or something. I'm not really too bothered now by, like, being ghosted or whatever, but I'm just saying uh, it's just the fact that, once it's like, once that thing happens, it's really can't really do much because it's like, you gotta, get to know them. But I feel like once you know them enough and everything, you gotta, do the harsher things because I mean, got this far, and you're in this situation that's good, but you can make it better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like even communication with like friends is also important, in any relationship really. So
Oh, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
good. I feel like a lot of this, thankfully, is just good for any relationship, but at the same time, I do feel like it's good to talk about the romantic sometimes instead of the platonic. But I feel like no one talks about the platonic, so
Yeah,
it's uh it's everything. But yeah, do you wanna go to the next topic then?
sure.
All right. Exclusive relationship. I'd say I'm gonna say something that you could tell me what you think. I know you're gonna say it varies from person to person, but I'm just saying I feel like I feel like it is the girl's idea usually to be exclusive or whatever, but you can say what you think because I feel like the guy should just be like, just chilling or whatever, just going on dates, whatever. But then the girl's like, oh, I really, really like you. I really want to be like an item, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, honestly. Um,
And another thing too, it's good in even in the society if you think about it. The whole Me Too thing. I guess it's a little different when it's just deciding if you're gonna be like a thing, but at the same time, you just gotta
yeah.
let them figure it out.
No, I feel like girls definitely tend to more primarily jump to make that relationship happen, but
Mhm.
I feel like obviously guys obviously they'll feel like, "Oh, hey, the time feels ready for me. I wanna make the move." You know? But I feel like more commonly girls will hint towards like, "Hey, I'm ready to take things towards the next level," rather than actually like just straight out say, "I'm ready to take things to the next level."
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
No, yeah, I agree with that. I feel like you know, I feel like just worrying about all that stuff too, it's more of the girls thing because it's like, where are we, in this situation, and then the guy's just trying to be chillaxing. I mean, obviously, when a date happens, I feel like maybe the guy wants it to go a certain way, but the girl just wants to see where things go. But at
Yeah,
the same time, I feel like there's a time where the girl's like, no, like what's happening with us? I feel like they're
absolutely.
worrying about that. Uh, and that's when the guy's gonna be like, well, you know what's happened, but you know, yeah, I'd say when it comes to uh exclusive relationships, of course, don't be a bitch by cheating. Like I'm talking about the guy in this or the girl, but I was just saying like don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I feel like you would see that before you. I mean, you may not, but that's why you can't be too fast with those things. I guess you got to make sure that they're not the cheating type. But I feel
mhm,
like the person that brings it up, I feel like are not going to cheat, but sometimes they will.
yeah,
It's just it obviously depends, but I feel like it is a good sign if someone wants to be exclusive, with you, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, 'cause I feel like the one thing too that I think is, like, if you feel something and you know that it's, how you feel or whatever, I feel like it, I feel like it does depend on the other person, because you don't know how they feel. But at the same time, it could also be like I guess, a standoff, you know? Maybe the girl also feels that. I don't think a lot of girls feel like, "Oh, I like him, so I'm gonna just, I don't know how much he likes me, so I'm gonna let him do the thing." I think a lot of girls are gonna bring it up. So,
Yeah.
that's good. Some might not, obviously it depends, but I think most of the time, I think you're golden, you know? I feel like if you've been doing it for, like, I mean, don't take it that way, but I mean, you can if you want to. I guess that is part of it. But, if if it's been a thing for like 3 to 6 months, she can bring it up, Even if you feel like the other person should, you can still bring it up. But, just, don't seem too, desperate about it. But I mean,
Yeah.
just, do what you wanna do. Do you have anything to say about exclusive, relationships?
Um, I don't really know. I mean, like, I feel like one thing, like, one of the few things that I can think of is like making sure that you're finding ways to keep the relationship fresh. Because
Yeah,
I feel like people will get into committed relationships and just get so comfortable within the patterns and the, oh, being
mundane.
used to certain things that, like, they stop attempting to make things different. They stop
Yeah, like,
trying to
they stop
mm,
courting their,
switch things up, you know?
yeah. Stop being spontaneous, Yeah, no, I agree. I think, the entire time you should be, treating them the same way you were treating them as first as you met them, I mean,
Yeah,
then, I mean, you basically just, sold them a car with bad mileage, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You
But
showed them all those commercials, but, I mean, it's not like what it's like on TV, And they'll try to return you to the curb. No. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I agree though, Rachel. It's a good
yeah,
point.
like, I feel like just putting in the extra effort to make sure that the relationship is, like, staying fresh and that it's staying fun and almost youthful and childlike, like, making sure that you keep the playful aspects of the relationship,
Yes,
like, I feel like
but
that is so important.
you also communicate, communication, like you've said before. That
Yeah.
does have a lot to do with, exclusive relationships, I say. Um, yeah, you have, anything else to say?
No, I feel like we covered it.
Alright, I think we'll end it there. Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to shout out?
No,
No social medias or anything like that? Alright,
no.
okay. Well, yeah, just, let me know how you feel about, Rachel in the comments below. Let me know if you'd like to hear from her again. I sure do. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast, and you will hear from me next week talking to somebody else about something else. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. It was definitely very interesting, definitely different than maybe you're used to, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week. All right, bye.